It's time for Did You Watch It?
How does this show work? We watch what we like, we talk about what we watched, and maybe you'll like what you hear. I'm Liz.
I'm Isabelle. Last night, we watched episode 11 of The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, Season 5. The show aired on Tuesday, January 27th, 2015. Here's what we thought. Drama in the driveway.
Yeah, I guess we could... Good call,
It has a nice ring to it, doesn't it?
Drama in the driveway. But what I really didn't get was the whole thing with Brandi being so overprotective, like Kim is some little child that can't talk to her sister, which I think is kind of weird. And I mean, I know there's family dynamics, and I know family dynamics are difficult, and especially with these two, Kyle and Kim have just a long history of just, you know, and I get we see the side of it from Kim's perspective, right? We see Kyle kind of being really aggressive with her and all that stuff. We don't really get to see too much of Kyle's perspective. We hear her say, you know, she's kind of tired of it and all that kind of stuff, but they don't show much of that on the show. Other than Kyle just kind of coming at her, right? And then, you know, we see Kim trying to defend herself. So I don't know what to think.
I think it's hard because for all the issues that Kim has had, right?
Yeah.
Her, you know, I'm sure there's been, whatever the addiction issues are, I think mainly alcohol, but I could be wrong, right?
Yeah, well, there's definitely some prescription drugs in there, too.
Okay, so obviously this stuff has been going on for God knows how many years. So I imagine Kyle is to a point where, okay, how much tough love do you try and deal with? You know, I think it just wears on you. And it has to for any family that deals with addiction issues.
But that's what I'm saying. We don't get to see that side of Kyle getting called in the middle of the night and like having to go to the hospital or having to get that phone call of, you know, she doesn't know what's happening to Kim. I kind of wish we'd see, you know, not some of that from the standpoint of being nosy, but just so that we could see a more, you know, although, hello, we're a little bit nosy.
But, you know, I think it could be partly Kyle just, there's a certain limit as to how much she'll be involved in her life. I mean, they already show enough, but I'm sure that there are certain things that she tries to maintain just family-wise. So I wonder if that's part of it.
Well,
and
I just
wonder if it's
wish we had a more balanced perspective, because all we see is basically Kyle saying she's done. We don't see what it's taken to get her there.
True.
We just see Kim as this, you know, fragile person who's just going through all this stuff. And so I feel like the camera is just showing us one side.
Well, it could be the editing. So, you know, whether that's been shown or maybe there hasn't been enough shown, and then they just choose not to even show what was aired or what was taped. God, this is so confusing.
I know, right? Yeah.
And, you know, but I think it was Rinna and Eileen who even said, you know, when it comes to sisters, whatever dynamics, it's like, you can only get involved so much.
Yeah.
And there's just a certain line that you just don't cross.
You kind of want to stay out of it, right?
Yes. And Brandi has definitely crossed that line, is not even considering, okay, you know, this has been going on for a long time, whatever Kim's issues are. And we really don't know how long this stuff has been going on for.
And here's what I think about this, too, is that Brandi's coming in as a new friend, right?
Yes.
She's basically known Sober Kim. She's seen Crazy Kim for maybe not even a year. You know what I mean? Because she was starting to kind of go through wanting to do something about it at that point. So she's seen Sober Kim and the Kim that's going through all this stuff with Monty and, you know, planning the wedding and all this pressure.
Yeah,
so I get that she's, you know, feeling protective of Kim, but it's just, like, I just flash back to that scene where she's got her arm around her neck, kind of from the front, like she's got her in a chokehold. And it was just so weird.
Well, I think partly, too, you know, Brandi has her own issues. And I think she's just looking for, I mean, she's got her own friends, but I'm sure she's really trying to get in with these ladies and try to be besties with at least one, because she's already been shut out by Vanderpump. Yeah. She's had her issues with other housewives. So, you know, Kim is like, Like you said,
she
needs new
her,
to this whole deal.
Right?
She needs her. So it's like this weird, and I can't remember who said it. One of the other housewives, I think it was Eileen, or maybe it was Rinna, but one of them's like, there's this weird codependency thing that's going on, and it's just, it doesn't feel right.
Right.
So
that's exactly what I thought. So, you know, when we see Brandi kind of shoving Kyle, I don't know, at that point, I kind of was siding with Brandi. Like, Kyle's just being too all over it, grabbing her arm, scratching her, whatever she's doing. I agree. I would shove somebody too. Like, back off, sister. No pun intended.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I mean, I think it's part, I mean, I'm more on the fence. I mean, I think both sides are to blame. I don't know that one is more correct than the other.
Definitely.
But Brandi just has this really bad habit of
getting physical.
And I don't know. It seemed like she was talking into Kim's ear like, oh no, we're not going to do this.
Yeah.
Oh, do this, but don't do that. So that was just kind of weird. And then Kyle should have just left well enough alone and just let her go and talk about it another day.
Yeah. Just the high school kind of stuff. And maybe not even high school, like junior high kind of thing when she said to everybody, they hate each other. They don't hate each other. They're just having issues with each other.
Brandi kind of exaggerates things, I think, often.
Blows it out of proportion.
Yeah. Everything is dramatic and it's over the top with her. So, yeah, everything I hear from Brandi, I always take with quite a big grain of salt, actually.
Yeah, like a
More
tub
like
of salt.
500 grain. Yeah, a ton of salt. Okay, I had to laugh. There were some funny things that came out of this drama in the driveway.
Let's hear it.
At some point, they were in front of the garage. I'm trying to remember who's there, but all of a sudden you see kind of Vince kind of pop up in the window. Did you see that?
Yes, I did.
He's like popping up to see like what's going on.
What's going on?
Can I hear what's up? What are they fighting about? Because I think he is just as clueless as everybody else. Like, what the hell just happened?
Yeah, I'm sure. I mean, if you're looking at it through Vince's eyes, I'm sure you're going, what in the heck is going on? What is with these women?
I know. He probably figured, okay, something's going on with Brandi and Kim and they're acting a little funny. And I'm sure he's only met them, handful of times, right? So I'm sure he figures, okay, something's going on, but I don't really know what. And I'm sure he just had this look on his face like, what? Huh?
Yeah.
What? So, but yes, it was funny to see his face kind of like in the garage door, like, what's up?
What's going on?
Yes. And then later on, when Brandi's going on, like, oh my God, I'm cut. And, just dramatics. Eileen says something like, oh, get a grip. Just put some Neosporin on it and,
exactly.
Shut up.
Look what she did to my arm,
I know.
And granted, she did scratch her pretty good. I don't know.
But I think at some point with the altercation, I don't know that it was necessarily Kyle, making an effort to cut her. It was just the bracelet she's wearing, the jewelry, whatever, and the pushing and the,
Yeah.
Yeah, the back and forth. I think it was unintentional, just happened.
And what did you think about Kyle just crying and sitting in the car?
I felt horrible for her, but to some extent it was just like again, I'm on the fence. Like, I don't know that one side is right or wrong.
Yeah.
But it's just like, Kyle, you should know by now that for as many times as she's tried to be this, what's going on? I need to talk about this right now.
It's not going to work.
Pick your battles. Know that, nothing's going to get accomplished tonight. We all need to cool off. We'll talk.
Exactly. And if you're going to get in the car, get in the car and leave. Like,
exactly.
Get in the car and say, we're going to talk about this later and actually do it. But it's like she was getting in the car and waiting for somebody to come over and take pity on her or something. I don't know. The whole thing was just like, ladies,
the dynamic is weird. The dynamic is already weird between Kyle and Kim, and I'm sure it has something to do with their mom and the family dynamic from way back when. Because I know that stuff like that has a way of repeating itself, right?
Yeah.
Consistently, and the way people deal with anger, stress, whatever. So I don't think this is the first time that Kyle and Kim have had these type of interactions.
Definitely not. I just thought to myself, it was so. Come after me. I don't know. If you're going to make a decision and do it. Like, don't wait around for people to pity you and come over and, oh, Kyle, can I come with you? Like, just say, Lisa, come on, we're going. Or, I don't know.
Okay, Rinna, you want to come with me? Let's just go.
Exactly.
We'll talk about who wants to drive home with me. Or,
exactly.
Just kind of.
I don't know. It's
Kyle has
weird.
her own ways of dealing with issues, and you would think maybe she would have learned by now, but,
And then Kim, she was like a ping pong ball between...
Oh, my God.
She couldn't make a decision.
Then she wants to talk to Kyle, and then she doesn't. And then Brandy's trying to... Yeah,
like she's going to talk to her.
It was a mess.
And then she comes back.
I would miss things, yeah.
And she's saying, Brandy, I love you, but I love my sister, but I love you. And just the whole thing, like when she was kissing her cheek really hard, when they were at the table, it just seems a little too codependent needy, right?
Yes. Uh-huh. And I think it was Eileen who actually said that, like, there's this whole codependent thing, whatever. I like how she called them drama queens to their faces at some point. Like, you guys are just drama queens.
And this is a woman who's in a soap. Really?
Yes. Well, hey, so she's seen it all, right?
She knows.
She calls it like she sees it. Exactly. So that's what I love about her.
Ugh. Gosh.
Rinna had some interesting insight because she sees that there's a lot of alcoholism, that perhaps Brandy needs to go to rehab. And she knows firsthand because she's witnessed her brother-in-laws go through the same issue.
Yeah. And it's not even rehab. It's just maturity. It's just really, like, you don't have to stop drinking. Just stop it too. Like, know your limit. Why do you have to keep guzzling until you're completely,
I think this is an addiction issue. I don't know.
Yeah, totally.
But I know what you mean because funny enough, there was this one dude I knew about over 10 years ago, and we hung out a couple times, and I know he mentioned, just as the whole willpower thing, like, dude, you're an idiot. So this dude is telling me that he was going to go hang out with some friends. I don't know how he knew these friends, if they work with him or if they've known him for whatever. They go back a while back. And so he says to me, like, oh, no, but every time I hang out with him, I get so drunk and I get so hungover. And I'm thinking, then why don't you just drink less? Mm-hmm. I think I threw it at him, and he just kind of looked at me, and he had no response to that. I'm like, and I think that was pretty much when I made the decision. I'm like, yeah, I don't want to hang around this dude anymore.
Yeah.
Nope. It's just like...
And with Brandy, it's kind of like, she's not going to stop drinking. And she pretty much told us that at the party. Right? When she was, fast forward to Lisa Rinna's jewelry party, and she's talking to, everybody's giving her a lecture.
Yolanda would say,
which I get. I wouldn't want to have a lecture from everybody too. It's like, look, I'm a grown woman. Yes, I'm making some poor choices, but talk to me about making better choices. Don't talk to me about, I can't drink. I mean, of course, somebody's going to react to that and say, dude, I can do whatever I want. Right?
Yeah, I mean, I think a lot of it, depends on how it's brought to someone's attention. But I know that Yolanda, in their discussion at Rinna's jewelry party, said something along the lines like, you need to stop drinking.
Yeah.
I mean, she didn't say you can't. She just, just don't get so drunk.
She said, you can't be drunk, is what she said.
Exactly. You can't be drunk. And I had to laugh because Brandy's like, I'm not a child. And I don't need a mom telling me.
I can do whatever I want.
Exactly. But Yolanda said something like, well, when you act like a child.
Yeah. I'm going to treat you like one. Because...
I'm going to treat you like one. Exactly.
Yeah, exactly. So what did you think of the jewelry party? I thought the jewelry was awesome. And I loved the championing of the cause, right?
Absolutely. It's always cool. A good cause. I think Kyle, I actually have to commend Kyle because she didn't go up and talk to Brandy. She didn't instigate anything. I don't think she even talked to her.
No, she was just looking at the jewelry. She's like, okay,
she stayed
what's the
busy.
one I need to get for breast cancer research? Let me do that.
Which one and how much and blah, 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 the whole bit. So, good on her. And I'm actually kind of proud of, am I saying this? Dare I say this? Proud of Brandy that she didn't even go talk to Kyle either. Like they just kind of stayed on their separate ends of...
avoid it because it's not the time or the place. As if there's really a time and a place to have a confrontation like that. But it's like, it's definitely not at a party for breast cancer research.
The day after, a couple days later, Brandy's friend, what's her name, Jennifer? We've seen her on a couple episodes. Totally. That she comes over to the house, right, to catch up with her. Both ladies, their faces were looking especially
Brandy
taut.
Looked like she had been through a boxing match, and I'm not exaggerating. Her face was so swollen, and I think she's had a facelift, because her eyes... Like, they're pulled back up to the middle of her forehead. She looks like Catwoman. What's happening, Brandy? Stop it.
The lips are freaking me out. I mean, I'm sure she was just tired and puffy because, you know, you don't get enough sleep, you don't you're not hydrated enough.
But this was beyond that. It looked like she'd been punched.
Did you see her friend Jennifer? Her friend's lips were, you know, kind of had that duck lip thing going on too.
Jennifer's lips are kind of like that. Every time I've seen her, she's looked like that. But
see, I don't remember seeing it that pronounced. It's like she just got whatever injections in her lips. I'm like, oh, honey, no.
Yeah.
It just looked bad. They were both looking a little rough.
Yeah, right.
And I know Jennifer was not out drinking and brawling, basically,
she wasn't.
In the driveway of someone's house.
It just looked like an ad for this is what not to do.
Yes, thank you. I was like, I have to talk to Liz about this.
Scalpel
this
down.
Is ridiculous.
Do something else. Let's focus on, you know, like diet and exercise. Let's not focus on how our face looks. Stop it.
Oh my God. Yeah, stop with,
And they're pretty girls. They don't need all that.
Remember what I said before? Sunscreen and a hat.
What?
Sunscreen and a hat. Sunscreen and a hat.
That's right.
This is the mantra.
It is the mantra.
Vanderpump and Kyle going for drinks after the jewelry party.
That was kind of neat to see.
Yeah, it seems like they're both kind of on the same side of the issue now. Like they have something to kind of bond over, and it's just how Brandi has completely messed with them in that sense.
Which, how sad is that you have to trash somebody else to be able to bond with each other?
Well, I don't know.
Am I the only one who thinks that's sad?
Well, it is kind of sad, but I don't know if it's necessarily trashing, but I think it's just like they're both like, wow, we both had the same experience with Brandi.
Yeah.
You know, where they both thought, okay, we're going to give her a chance.
Yeah.
Despite everything that's happened before with other people, and they've both been kind of burned in that sense.
Well, and Vanderpump made it very clear. She's like, I do not trust her.
No.
I'm not gonna... Yeah.
So, so I don't know if it was necessarily trashing, but just kind of like, wow, we both got raked over the coals for this one.
Yeah, exactly.
So,
well, if it brings them closer, I guess that's a good thing.
I guess. I'm just, kind of like you, I'm like, well, I don't know if they should necessarily bond over something this bad happening.
Their distaste for somebody else. I just want to get Brandi in therapy. And I want Vanderpump to just get along with everybody else and stop being so guarded. I just want her to come back into the fold. She's kind of exiled herself, about this before. Right? She's just...
You know, I'm sure because she's been burned by Brandi and all the other issues, she's just kind of, I'll be cordial with these ladies, but I'm going to be very careful of who I let into
I'm going to sit here in my swan-laden castle.
Family. Yeah.
And
well,
look at my beautiful views. I'd never leave that house if I lived in that house. Are you kidding? I'd have my friends come over. I'd be like, I just want to sit on the veranda on these nice puffy couches.
And just read my book.
Exactly.
And relax.
Have Rocio bring me some tea.
Yes, and have Rocio join us for tea and relax with us.
Oh my gosh.
Right?
And we got to see all the dogs. Okay, so I didn't know there were so many.
Does she have
because we'd never seen them all in one place. But when she lined them all up on the bench, that was hilarious. So there are 4 that look like
little
Jiggy.
Tiny ones, right?
Yeah, 4 like Pomeranians of various sizes and colors.
Yes.
And then comes Lumpy. Gimpy? Rumpy. Okay, Rumpy. And then I guess
Pumpy, as she calls him, a little golden lab.
Went to a shelter, and Rumpy made a friend who she wants to call Bumpy.
Oh, I don't remember the name. Lumpy. Oh, yeah, because she was a little on the heavier side.
Plumpy. She wanted to call her Plumpy because she has a thyroid problem. Okay.
I had to laugh, though, because...
That's so mean.
Well, but I love that Vanderpump said, he's fallen in love with a girl who's not the skinniest.
Exactly.
And, and he's found his soulmate. The way she said it was just so cute. I don't, we're not doing justice to that little.
No, we're not. So now they're rounding up the number at 6 dogs.
Well, it's probably good because Rumpy didn't really have anyone to play with. Like, at least to match him
that was
size-wise. And, well, not size, but, in terms of energy and, the little dogs could only, keep up for so long. But yeah.
He's like playing in the closet in the tulle dresses, which I thought was hilarious.
Was into everything. He's a mischievous little dog.
Crack me up. Then we see that there's more than 2 white swans. There's a black swan in the back.
Is there a black one? I thought there were
Vanderpump and
I totally missed
Eileen
that because I was so focused on the dogs.
Yeah, when they were in the back, kind of sitting outside in the wind, they pan over and you see, a couple of white swans, and then I thought there were a couple of black swans too, all kind of playing in the pool.
Completely missed that.
Yeah.
Although I was laughing when Eileen was making all these little jokes about, but they both have the same type of humor, right? They're both
totally
that dry wit, that kind of slightly dirty humor. It was hilarious.
Yeah.
And something about like, oh, I see you're a swinger. And Vanderpump was like, well, I have a swing, but I'm not a swinger. So it was just...
Yeah, I think they're going to forge a good friendship. I foresee that in the future.
Hopefully we'll find out more about Kim's hospitalization and what exactly is going on with her next week.
Well,
the next episode.
In the flash forwards that they showed, or the previews. Let's get my terminology right.
Flash forward kind of works, though.
Right? They show Brandi kind of crashing Kyle's party.
Oh,
did you see that?
Did not look good.
It did not look good. So it's going to be crazy as well next week with some of that. And I guess she says a few choice things to Kyle.
Yes. Well, I think Kim has something to do with it.
Yeah.
I think Kim has this look on her face, and she was like, oh, what are you talking about?
Yeah. And then she just sits there with her head in her hand doing nothing while the two of them go at it. It's like, okay, make a stand. Somebody figure it out. That's our time for today. You can follow us on Twitter at @didthelletteru.watch it. You can also find us at iTunes. Let us know what you think. Thank you for listening.